Child is unprotected and vulnerable to multiple abuse. When Jocelyn, Marivic, and Jenilyn decided to escape from the videoke bar, Matilde caught up with them. She hauled them to the police and accused them of stealing.
Dahil po ganito, pinakulong lang kaming walang dahilan. Hindi naman kami nagnakaw ng 15,000 sa ilaha. Ang naisip po namin yung bakit ganitong nakapunta kami dito sa kulungan, ba naman may kasalanan, sabi ko ganun.
The Visayan Forum provided help.
Dito din, tinuturuan din namin sila kung paano nila ipaglaban yung kanilang karapatan. At dito binibigyan din namin sila ng mga serbisyo at mga tulong legal para ituloy yung kanilang mga kaso. No? Dahil dapat talaga maparusahan yung dapat parusahan.
Apart from legal advice, government and various non-government agencies offer temporary shelter and psychosocial and educational services to help restore the children's sense of self.
Kaya po masaya po ako kasi dito lang po ako nakapag-aral po ng home study. Kasi sa ibang bahay po, nagsabi po sa kanila, pwede po ba ako magtrabaho, tapos mag-aaral ako. Hindi po sila pumayag. So, dyan lang po kay Ma'am Miraldes. Laking tulong po nila sa akin. Nagpapasalamat po sa kanila.
Children are organized and motivated to join the lobby for policies to protect their rights and serve the interest of child domestics. Sumapi, an organization of domestic helpers, is lobbying for the passage of Batas Kasambahay, a law that will protect domestic workers and penalize employers who abuse their house help.
Kasi pag kulak, masarap tingnan.
In Sumapi, Alita has found a voice. Meanwhile, Jocelyn, Jenilyn, and Marivic remain behind prison bars but have grown to the real measure of their worth.
Si Matilde, sabi niya, aminin niyo kasi na kayo na ang para maisama ko na kayo sa bahay at hindi na raw kami niya ipapakulong. Kung talagang mahirap kami dyan, mas mahirap sa kanila. Kung mahirap man sa kulungan, talagang mahirap. Mas mahirap yun sa kanila. Hindi kami nakakalabas. Kaya nga mas maganda pa dito nakalagay kami ngayon. Dahil hindi kami nasasaktan na. Nagpapapahinga na kami sa katawan namin. Lagi kami sinasaktan. Sabi ko naman, hindi, tapusin na lang namin yung kaso namin. Dahil yung sobrang pagpapahiya niya sa akin, gusto ko matapos. Sabi ko gano'n.
Servitude has met its end.
Tapos nakapag-piyansa sila on that same day. Sa susunod na gabi, ando na naman sila. So, parang sa amin, parang nagiging daily routine na namin itong paghuli sa kanila eh.
They are called Shine Girls in Davao, Batang Tunog, or Children of the Twilight in General Santos, Vitamin C in Cagayan de Oro. They go by different names, yet theirs is a shared story. Born into poverty, robbed of their childhoods, sold for sex. Grace had high hopes of leaving the hard life in northern Samar when she quit secondary school to work as a maid in the big city, just like her mother. But the domestic work in Manila promised by recruiters turned out to be sex work in the red light district of Angeles City, Pampanga.
Dumating ako dito sa Maynila, 1993. 13 years old po ako. Tapos nag-stay lang po kami sa Tondo isang araw. Tapos dumaritso sa Pampanga. Pero hindi ko po kalain na ganun po ang trabaho. Tapos nandoon na rin. Umpisahan ko na lang po kasi wala kaming pera.
After 3 years of waiting on tables and dancing in bars, Grace made the transition from so-called entertainment to sex work.
Yung meron pong customer na nakipag-usap sa mamasa namin na gusto ako ilabas. Sumama po ako kasi babayaran niya ako ng 10,000 para pagkakuha ng dalaga. Kung pumayag po ako noon. Nakuha ko po siya lahat po, nakuha ko 10,000. Kaso, hindi lang po 10,000 ang binayad sa akin, kundi 20,000. Aywan ko, di ko po alam yung 10,000. Baka napunta sa bar o napunta sa mamasan.
Earning the bar fine ruled Grace's daily life that began at 5 in the afternoon and ended at 3 the following morning.
Bago po ako sumama ng customer, nagtitik na po ako ng shabu. Kasi may nagturo po sa akin, mga kaibigan ko po. Mag-tik daw ako ng shabu kasi para mawala daw ang hiya ko. Dati, ang tinitik ko dati nung bago pa lang ako sa bar, yung Ikis at saka Valium, sinasabay at saka yung Red Horse.
Numbed by drugs and alcohol, she would service as many as 10 men in a single night. Not all children are trafficked from the provinces to Manila. Children are also trafficked from cities to provinces. 17-year-old Tessa was a fresh high school graduate from Montalban when she was brought to a strip show in Cebu City and issued work documents that said she was older than she really was.
Wala po sinabi sa amin na magsasayaw. Tsaka yung babar fine. Sabi lang po sa amin, entertainer. Tapos puro foreigner daw po yung mga pumupunta doon. Tapos malakas daw po yung kita. Tapos sabi, maganda daw nga po yung trabaho doon. Malaki yung perang may uuwi namin. Tapos may allowance.
But the terms of payment make sure that the girls are always financially enslaved to their employers. For example, a girl keeps only 500 pesos from the 1,500 bar fine. The rest is split between the manager and the bar. Apart from living expenses, the girls shoulder the cost of condoms, which customers can reject using if they so choose. Even payment for fake birth certificates, identification cards, and other documents needed to secure 3-month hygiene passes are deducted from the girls' salaries.
Pagka galing po namin sa club, diretso na kami agad doon sa bahay. Mag-ano lang, magpapahinga konti, tapos matutulog na. May mga babaeng nag-away. Minsan sa pagkain, hindi na pwede kasi marami pang babaeng kakain, kaya hindi na pwede umulit.
Girls deemed too plump to attract customers ate even less, with only one meal allowed them daily. Employers also forced them to do various household chores, from doing the laundry to cleaning floors, in between nightly jobs at the club.
Gising namin, iyon na naman. Papasok na ulit kami. Minsan, gusto ko nang magpakamatay na Kasi parang hindi na ako makakaalis doon. Hindi na kami lumalabas. Para po kaming bilanggo, wala kaming kalayaan.
Also in that Cebu City brothel was 19-year-old Liza, who felt the same and decided she could take no more of the abuse. While waiting for a chance to earn a little more money so she can go home, Liza learned about the end child prostitution, child pornography, and the trafficking of children for sexual purposes, or ECPAT.
Nagpunta po ako nun sa ECPAT. Sumarap po ako doon sa judge. Pagharap ko po sa judge, tinanong po ako kung bakit ko daw po naisipang si Tita Ani. Recruiter po si Tita Ani. Yung mga babae parang binibenta. Parang ginasa na nila. Lahat parang pinatay na rin nila. Yung mga pera, imbis na yung pera na sa amin napupunta, sa kanila pa napupunta. Inano po sa akin ng judge yun. Lahat po tinanong sa akin. Nakapag po na warrant of arrest. Nung araw din pong i-raid yun din po lipad ko papunta po dito sa Manila.
43 girls were rescued and later filed charges against their recruiters. In such rescue operations, various government agencies come into action. The Women's Desk is a step taken by law enforcers to manage the special cases of child prostitutes, one in a chain of government actions. Collaborating together, the Labor, Health, and Social Welfare departments conduct child-sensitive rescue operations, followed by medical evaluation, protective custody, psychosocial services, and reintegration. The Department of Tourism cancels the accreditation and blacklists establishments that promote prostitution. All these are part of the Plan of Action Against Commercial Sexual Exploitation, coordinated by the Council for the Welfare of Children, the lead government agency for the protection, welfare, and development of children. These efforts have helped child prostitutes find the strength to speak up, claim their rights, and start new lives. Since the raid and rescue, Liza has been appearing as principal witness in the trial of her abusers, unfazed by the presence of her captors and clearly empowered by the key role she played in securing the warrant of arrest for the recruiters.
Siya ay nagkaroon ng lakas ng loob at hindi niya ito ginawa para sa sarili niya, pero para din sa mga bata din na naging biktima na kagaya niya. Hindi niya ito ginagawa dahil binabayaran siya ng pera o binibigyan siya ng edukasyon o dahil sa sisikat siya, no? Ginagawa niya ito dahil nakita niya talaga na masama talagang epekto ng prostitusyon.
She is also back in school, together with Tessa, learning culinary skills at a government vocational training institution.
Tinanong po nila kung ano yung hilig ko. Sabi ko, hilig ko po talaga magluto. Gusto ko po mag-aral ng culinary para mas madagdagan pa po yung mga alam ko.
Through a social worker in Angeles City, Grace was also fortunate enough to get in touch with a third world movement against the exploitation of women. After 7 years in sexual slavery, Grace has found refuge at this NGO's Nazareth Growth Home, a halfway house set up for women who opt out of sex work. Tessa, Liza, and Grace, 3 faces among the 4 million Filipino child workers, of whom are in prostitution. Majority of children in prostitution are girls, but a growing number are boys. Estimates can only hint at the actual gravity of the situation, as it is difficult to track down the traffic in human beings. Prostitution is illegal in the Philippines, a country with many good anti-child labor programs and the first Asian country to introduce a law against child abuse. But why does child prostitution continue?
One of the most unrecognized aspects is education of the families that are vulnerable. We need to get to those families. First of all, we need to know who they are. And we need to make sure that they know in black and white what this outrageous claim leads to. This outrageous claim being the promise of a job, the promise of income, if you just give us your child and we'll take care of everything. Parents need to be disabused of any false notions about what such claims will lead to. And so I think a lot can be done to break this cycle through community level to grassroots awareness raising.
Sana nandun ako sama, sana nag-aaral pa ako. Tapos bakit ako nakaranas ng ganito? Bakit ganito ang trabaho ko?
And then Grace remembers the children she bore when she was a child herself. What's important to her now is their future.
Gusto ko kunin yung anak kong dalawa. Gusto ko yung magbagong buhay. Buhayin kong anak ko na sa marangal.
What Grace has is the chance to rebuild her life. What we have is the duty to end stolen childhoods. Tiempos Muertos, the 2-month spell in between planting seasons. Literally dead times, when work becomes increasingly difficult to find for sacadas or sugarcane plantation workers. In its glory days, Negros accounted for half of the country's annual sugar production. But the sugar industry crashed in the 60s to the 70s, causing widespread hunger and deprivation for hundreds and thousands of plantation workers. Today, Negros is still the country's sugar bowl, but time seems to have ground to a halt for sacadas. For children especially, life has been exceedingly far from sweet. Scrounging the haciendas for any leftover chore, Ronel Dagohoy hurries with his friends to a nearby plantation, pleased to have found some weeding tasks. 12 years old but less than 4 feet high, Ronel no longer goes to school. Ronel is a sakada.
Gudlay gede. Ngara alas 6, alas 7. Unbuyan kami, alas 11. Magbalik naman kami pagkahapon, launay media. Tapos naman, maubra naman kami dayon eh. Pagkatapos naman ubra, mapapulion kami, sulduhan kami tanan. So pa, malakat da kami strel, ipakambyoan naman ang kwarta kay Bilog. So naman na dayon tungaon. Anong kami sinagato nga. Kada tag isa kadlaw sa amon, tag 25 sa amon eh. Ang iban layo papulian at ang sinsilyo ate, yatag sila eh. Sang obray nagkontak mi, nagbulik mi dayon kay Papa. Kung may magpabinandol, maput mi kay Papa eh.
Ronel's older brother, 15-year-old Michael, has also stopped going to school. Instead of his lessons, Michael has learned how to apply chemical fertilizers on newly sprung cane. Michael's hands itch and his nails are stunted from the constant handling of poisonous chemicals. For a job that puts their health in danger, the going rate for this job is 500 pesos or $9 per hectare, a measly sum that the sakadas divide among themselves. The children and their parents may be oblivious to the risks of handling toxic fertilizer. The chemical's dangerous effects are not so clear and imminent. But there is hardly a sakada who has not been dealt a blow by the sharp blade that is the espading. Michael and Ronel's father, Roque, bear the physical markings of the haciendas and the poverty that surrounds them. He knows harvesting with the use of the espading can maim or kill. Yet it is a task not entirely off limits to children.
Ang bata ko to nga subungan naka Manila, amo to nagabulig sa akon kargatapas. Dason daw hindi naman gid makagwanta sa kargatapas. Nangitan mo siya sa obra. Kaya mo nang ato sa Manila. Isubong ang gagmay na lang nagpabilin da sa akon. Kung may mga pabinandol, paresin ni be, amo na sila gabulig na sila sa akon para maka dugang-duga mapud sa sweldo na akon. Gado ng yapon ko kung hindi gid sila magbulig. Kung na nga mapilitan lang gid sila ubra gid. Kung walay ubra, amo na makasulod sila sa eskwelahan, pero kung may ulubrahon, gabulig na sila sa akon.
But coming back to school hardly ever happens after children have dropped out. As they grow handier with the espading, they are drawn into tasks that pay more than weeding and applying fertilizers. The plantation's contractual system that pays for work by the bulk lures entire families, parents and children alike. Having more field hands means getting the work done in quicker time. The children are paid dirt wages, but it is enough to draw them away from getting an education. Children working in plantations and other agricultural work comprise 60% of the total 4 million Filipino child workers. 2.4 million of these children labor under some of the most risky and inhumane conditions just to survive another day or get through another meal. These working conditions violate children and damage their physical, mental, spiritual, and psychosocial growth and development.
Sa Sarangani, dahil sa kampanya namin laban sa child labor, talagang merong isang landlord na nagsasabi na, o sige, paalisin ko yung mga bata. Sa isang kilos niya. Sinabi niya, wala nang bata ngayon. Ang nangyari sa amin, dumating yung mga magulang, nagrereklamo dahil paano na kami mabubuhay ngayon. Pero sa katunayan, ang dapat mangyari dito ay ang talagang enforcement ng batas. Pero ang problema kung ang kasalubong nito ay talagang reality ng poverty sa hanay ng mga manggagawa sa tubuhan, mga families nila, napakahirap ang implementation ng batas.
Efforts are making headway. Roque's neighbor, Romeo Santa Ana, also a poor Sakada, refuses to bring his eldest child, only 9, to the cane fields.
Depende na kung makita na ko nga wala man siya klase. Kung dalantaw kung makasarang siya, sugot mo lang kung magupod siya. Pero kung may klase, magit siya kung kwanti, eskwela na siya na Nga mo nang gusto na kung nga makatuon man sila. Nga hindi sila magsunod pa sa akon nga ako ay kudan alaman.
And other parents are struggling mightily to keep their children in school.
Gusto ko lang sa tani nga bisan pigado lang kami kung mapatapos kugid eskwela ang akong mga kabataan. Tiga siling isa nga mga isa balon sa akon wala ko kwarta. Siling nga bisan pisos na lang kung may balon siya.